Yo, 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 Surreal Talk Radio, your man, Calico the Surrealist on WPRK 91.5 FM Winter Park, kicking it at the dark with our special guests. Hey, man, we got a hot show lined up. Gonna set things off with my surreal topic of the day. Got music from around the way. We got our throwback track and my favorite part of the show, the Pump It or Dump It. Y'all get to call in, talk to us about the music we playing and everything we saying right here on Surreal Talk Radio. All right, listen, special guest. I got to clear my throat for this one. My special guest chilling with us tonight, man. This sister right here, she's an R&B gospel singer and songwriter, Billboard Hot 100 certified hit maker. She's an actress and one of the writers of Computer Love. I sound terrible. She sounds a lot better than me, y'all. But yeah, we got the one and only Miss Shirley Murdock on the line. How you feeling?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. It is great to hear your voice. We thank you so much for doing our show, helping us grow this platform, and we are ready to go.
Well, let's do it.
All right. So I want to kick a little conversation off with my surreal topic of the day, just to get a little convo started before we do the interview. My topic tonight is computer love, right? But I want to talk about, everybody knows the Computer Love song, but I want to talk about it like basically in this day and time, with all of the online dating, the social media, stuff like that. Want to know, did you have any idea back in 85, 86 when y'all was writing this, did y'all have any idea that we would be where we are in the world today with like social media and computer love in this day's fashion?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Back then it was just, online dating and things like that was really just starting, and people were trying to find ways to meet each other, and to just interact with people. And computers were really just getting started. My husband, who's the music director for ZAP, DLD Wrote, he was talking to Roger because he's a financial analyst by trade. But he's my producer, my writing partner. He's also Roger's music director. And so they were just getting their laptop computers. So at one time, Roger was saying to Dale that he thought that people were kind of tired of the talk box. He said, "Oh no, man, they're not tired of the talk box. Just do it in a different way. Maybe do a slow song. Maybe a song about two computers falling in love." And so, when you think back. And listen to the music, there's a lot of old school computer sounds going on, on the song Computer Love. So there was a song that Bill had co-written with Roger, a song called "I Will Be Your Star" for Sugarfoot from Ohio Players. Mm-hmm. And so that beat, that boom, boom, that beat. So Roger said, "Well, go to the studio, put it down." So he put that beat down again, and then Roger came in and put in the talk box and all the magic that he does. Yeah. And one day Charlie Wilson came into town, and Roger let Charlie hear it. So the only thing there was like the drums, the talk box, the moog, and Roger put down the hook with the talk box. And so when Charlie heard it, he started singing, and Roger was crazy because he was like, he didn't want anybody to waste anything. If you start singing and he's not ready to take it, he'll put his hand over your mouth and say, I'm gonna put some tape on your mouth. I don't want to waste none of it. Hey. So Charlie started singing, when Roger said, "Computer Love." So Charlie answered like a call and response, "Computer love." So everything that Roger did, Charlie did. And then down in the band was "Shooby-Doo-Bop, Shooby-Bop, I Wanna Love You." Charlie, he tore that thing up. But there were no verses. So later on, I remember going into Studio B, which was our rehearsal hall, and started writing the lyrics. And basically, it's just like, when you think about it, it's like, I've been around, I've been searching for someone who could share that special love with me. And that's what computer dating was all about back then. But it has grown so much now. We're all into AI and all things like that. Yeah. But we had no idea that that song would be so relevant today. And not only that, what's beautiful is so many artists have, sampled Computer Love, which gave the music an opportunity to live again for other generations. So it was a really cool thing.
Man, you done basically did my whole interview. Nah, listen though, you are on it. And that is a truly timeless record. Some would even say, it was prophetic. you know, the way you guys laid it out. Back in 85, 86, when you guys wrote this, there was no smartphones, there was no apps. You know, I want to get your thoughts on this whole AI situation, like, you know, with all of these filters that people use to enhance themselves and stuff like that. I want to get your thoughts on it, because me personally, I feel like it's worse than, you know what I'm saying, when chicks wear too much makeup or, you know, put on all these wigs and stuff. But, like, are you a fan of AI? You know, like, talk to us about that.
Well, you know, when you're Googling something, they want to ask you, do you want to use AI? And I'm like, no. I'm you know, I don't want AI all up in my business,
right.
all up in my stuff. You know, I think it's good for some things. I was talking to my doctor about it, and he was saying, I said, well, how do you feel about, you know, AI and medicine and things like that? He was saying that it has the opportunity to make things, to do things faster. He said, which gives him more time with the patient. So I can see where it's good. Yeah. It has a positive influence. But anything that's overused, anything that's not used correctly, yes, is anything that's misused is abuse. So we have to be mindful that we're not abusing this technology, and we don't want it to take over so much that we do lose the human connection, that we're not misrepresenting ourselves. When I take pictures, I don't, you know, what you see is what you get. I'm not putting on all these filters that make me look like an alien from outer space. You know, right. To each his or her own. But, you know, I've got a few wrinkles, you know, over the years. But that's my life, and it's okay. So when you see me, I don't want you to be shocked and be like, ooh. Yeah. Nah, I feel you. What happened to her?
I'm with you 100%. We don't need to be having no, you know, Beyonce mixed with this hybrid Shirley Murdock, you know, like somebody put me with a body of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hey, what you see is what you get. Love it or not, and it's okay either way with me, because I've learned to be comfortable with my authentic self.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what people need in real connections is authenticity.
Yes.
You know, just be for real. You know. Right. And I think that's what's missing. You know, people, they put up all these facades, and I think social media has possibilities, you know, good points. But with young people, you know, I think there's a lot of young people going around with anxiety and depression because they're trying to match up to what they see 5 minutes of a clip of somebody's life or what they're showing. But after that 5 minutes, what's really going on in that person's life? You know, when you take off the makeup, when you take off the lace front, or you know, you know, whatever it is that you're fronting with, you know, I think that, you know, young people, they feel like I can't measure up to that, but this is what I have to do to be successful. And so it's really a lie. Yeah. So you have to make sure that you don't fall for or believe the lie.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. 100%. One more thing I want to talk about on this subject is auto-tune. I want to talk about auto-tune because, you know, especially with Roger being so notorious with the voice box, we know we're all fans of T-Pain and all of the artists that followed. But I want to get your thoughts on how you feel on artists using auto-tune.
Well, you know, I'm of the mindset that I think everybody has the right to express their art in the way that they want to. But I think that, you know, it's nothing like the art in the let's say the art of how Roger used the talk box.
Right.
I love the art of making records. It's like an artist sitting in a studio and looking at a canvas, and it's blank, and you've got this idea and you start painting strokes. You know, we didn't, when we were recording, when I learned how to record with Roger, it wasn't about sampling and looping and things like that. We doubled that vocal ourselves. Mm-hmm. So there was no technology to do that for us. When we were editing, you know, they cut actual tape, but a razor blade, there was no digital. But right. I mean, these things are beautiful. I think, you know, used in the right way. So, you know, it's a different generation. I don't want to knock it, but there's certain sounds that happen that's so fat and rich when it comes to the analog, mm-hmm. as opposed to digital. You know, as opposed to listening to a record. a 45, or back in the day we when you had an album or a CD, it was just really the richness of the music. So the sound, it's beautiful, but it doesn't have that warmth of just like that human vocal, that live vocal when you're doing it. If it's got a little mistake in it, that's real.
Right.
I remember one time I was doing. I'm really perfectionist when I'm recording it. I had a producer say to me, I said, I could do it again. He said, oh, Shirley gonna take the stank off of it. Which reminds me, when it's and also with my song Going Without You, I remember Roger wanted me to do the hook all over again, and I said no. I said, because I felt that thing. Yeah. I could go in and do something, but I felt the anointing. I felt the presence of God. I felt his gift just sitting on my gift. And I said, I felt that, and I don't know if I can recreate that moment, that magic. So sometimes we just have to leave it alone. Yeah. But listen, T-Pain has been very successful. I don't knock his success. I think he's made it his own, and I think that if you take whatever God gives you and you go forth for it, God bless you.
Listen,
I ain't hating. So don't hate, celebrate.
I love talking to you already. I love this. I got a little bit of time, so I want to play with you for a minute. Did you in the studio with Roger? Was there ever a point in time when maybe he wasn't around that you picked that thing up and you was playing with it yourself, that talk box? Come on now, give us
No, because I knew good and doggone well I had no idea what to do.
Yeah, it looked kind of difficult.
I stayed in my lane. You give me a microphone, let me sing. I can do that, okay?
Right. So you never used the talk box, huh? Okay.
I never used the talk box.
That's
never
cool.
used it.
I know me, I couldn't resist. I would have had to try it out. Well, yeah. All right. So I want to open up the hotlines and let people call in. Also want to do my pump it or dump it segment. But basically, what it is I'm going to play a local artist from around here, and I want to get some critique from you, some professional critique from you. Also,
oh God. Okay. Come on.
Yeah. Ultimately, I want to know, should we put this song in rotation or not? So yeah, anybody want to call in and talk about our topic? We're talking about computer love in this day and age. We're talking about, if you want to call in and give a shout out to Miss Shirley, you're more than welcome to. Remember, we on the radio, so no profanity, and please keep the calls brief so we can take as many as we can. Also, if you want to participate in our Pump It or Dump It, please call 407-646-2915. Again, that number is 407-646-2915. Okay, so the name of the artist I'm about to play, her name is Foxish, right? And the name of her song is Lay With Me Tonight, right? So this is it right here on Surreal Talk Radio, Lay With Me Tonight. Check it out.
You're dreaming of me tonight, wishing you were holding me tight, 'cause you wanna lay with me tonight, yeah. You wanna lay with me tonight, pillow chasing, my heart's racing. Imagine my shirt up over my head, while my panties drop down to my feet. Oh, you wanna lay with me tonight, yeah. You wanna lay with me tonight. Dreamline.
Yes. Surreal Talk Radio. We
Play
are
this
back.
playlist.
Your man Calico the Surrealist. I'm with my special guest, Miss Shirley Murdock. The name of that song right there we just played was "Lay With Me Tonight" from Foxish. Miss Underwood. We just did her not too long ago. Miss Shirley, that track I just played right there. What do you think about it?
Well, I really what I heard was a hook. I didn't hear much of the verses. Did you?
No, it was really short. It was really brief. I don't know if that was supposed to be like that. You know, these young artists, they giving us songs that's like a minute long now. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's a groove. It's a groove. That's what we call a groove. It's got a nice beat to it. It's got a nice groove.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's got a nice voice. That's about all I can say.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, we're going to, let y'all get a chance. 407-646-2915. In the meantime, you know what? I thought I really chose that song right there. It's called Lay With Me Tonight, because you got the song Stay With Me Tonight, right? And it kind of reminiscent on the As We Lay song a little bit. We'll get into that. Yeah. So, 407-646-2915. And in the meantime, we're going to get real live with Miss Murdock and find out more about her. So, Miss Shirley, you've turned your maiden name, you turn your maiden name into a household name. And the first thing I want to ask you is, have you ever considered using a stage name?
No, because again, that's who I am. Right. But I'm married. And so I've been married for 37 years, to Dale DeGroat, who I said, is my writing partner and he's my producer now after Roger. And, we've been married for 37 years, and he and I, we do a lot of things together. We write together. So I'm Shirley Murdock, in my professional life, but, I have my husband's last name in my personal life, so I don't really have a need to do it differently.
No, that's kind of cool though, because the only other Shirley I could think of is Shirley Temple. I don't know if y'all can remember her.
Well, I do. There's a significance with Shirley Temple for me, because as a young girl growing up in Toledo, I watched those black and white movies with Shirley Temple, right? And she could sing and dance, and that was really the thing that I kind of saw myself. That was the genesis of me desiring to sing and to dance and to act and all that. Oh wow! So I'm really living the dream of little girl Shirley watching those Shirley Temple movies. Okay, so it's amazing that you mentioned Shirley Temple.
Yeah. I was looking at my producers in here. They don't know about Shirley Temple, but all right. I got to say, I'm getting old, man, All right, so you was raised in Toledo, Ohio. OH?
I-O, baby.
There it is.
You know what's up.
Hey, yeah, you know what? I'm from Ohio as well, so.
Where?
Youngstown, Ohio.
Say it again, Youngstown?
Youngstown, yeah.
Yes. I've been there many times.
Yeah. So, I want you to, tell us something about Ohio. So tell us something about Ohio you're most proud of.
Well, first of all, Ohio was it's a great place to grow up. In Toledo, it wasn't too big, it wasn't too small, but it was just a great place. If I wanted to go to a bigger city, I just go right up I-75 north to Detroit, or I could go to Cleveland, which is like about 100 miles away, and then I could come down to Cincinnati. Yeah, Ohio is unique because Ohio could really exist by itself because of the agriculture, all those things. We could really sustain ourselves with just being in Ohio. With like I said, the agriculture industry, being a part of the auto industry as well. But we have the water. We have the Great Lakes right there too. Yeah. So Ohio is amazing, and so many actors and musicians and groups have come out of Ohio. Yeah. So we're really rich in the arts as well. Comedians have come out of Ohio. The OJs have come out of Ohio. Zach comes out of Ohio. Midnight Star comes out of Ohio. The Deal comes out of Ohio. The Ohio Players come out of Ohio. So there's so many people that Howard Hewitt comes out of Ohio. I tell you, the late, great, beautiful Vesta Williams came from Coshocton, Ohio. There's so many people. Levert came out of Ohio. And we've got great sports in Ohio. Yeah. So I say, hey, I'm preaching to the choir if I'm talking to you, right?
Yeah, I'm just sitting. I was waiting for you to get on that funk, man. I was like, well, yeah, I'm with it. All right, so you was raised in a Catholic school. right?
Well, I went to public school from kindergarten until 6th grade. And my sister told my mom, hey, Shirley's grades are really good. And you might not want her to go to the public junior high school. So my mother put me in the Catholic school from 7th grade through graduation. And then I went to the University of Toledo for just a little bit. And then I moved to Dayton, Ohio in 1983. But I commuted between in 82 when I was making my record. And one day Roger called me and said, hey, if we're going to make this record, I need you to move to Dayton because, you grew up singing in church, but I need to teach you how to sing in the studio. I need to teach you how to sing in the pocket. And baby, what a wonderful teacher I had. Baby, I'm a pocket queen. I can rock that pocket, okay? Play between that foot and that snare. Yes, sir. Hey, so Roger was just a great mentor and a great teacher. And the beautiful thing about Rod is not only was he my producer, but he was also an artist, which made him artist sensitive as a producer. Right. And he always opened the door and pushed me to write. He let me do whatever I felt, on records. And we had a really great music marriage between the two of us.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to kind of backtrack a little bit. Okay, so this Catholic education to a certain extent. And then you were singing gospel. This was, I believe it's the Baptist denomination, right? That was the Baptist faith?
Yes, I grew up at my church was Calvary Baptist Church in Toledo. So I've got Baptist influences. I've got, Catholic school influences because, at that time they had what they called the guitar masses. So they were singing like to acoustic guitars and things like that. So I was exposed to like the Carpenters and all kind of, mainstream groups like that. And so there's gospel in there, there's jazz in there. Like I said, because I grew up in Toledo and I was right down the road from Detroit, I have a lot of Detroit influences, vocally speaking.
Right. Yeah, I was going to ask you how all that worked, with the Catholic education and the Baptist faith. I was going to ask you how that kind of connected together. How would you describe your upbringing, though?
Well, my upbringing was, I grew up, my parents divorced when I was young. I was about 9 years old, 6 kids, three girls and 3 boys. So I'm the baby girl, and just a lot of love in our house. It wasn't always easy with my mom, raising, her kids. My dad was there sometimes, but we always had the relationship, but he wasn't always there in the house. And so when I grew up going to church, that's really where I honed my skills of singing. Started off, just listening to records. My older siblings would bring in records, and like I loved Aretha Franklin. I thought I was Aretha Franklin. Back in the days when you stand in the mirror with the hairbrush being your microphone and all that, and the Jackson 5 were came. They were popular around that time, and I knew that one day I wanted to sing and to share my voice all over the world. But as I began to grow in my relationship with God, as a 15-year-old, saying, Lord, come into my life and be the Lord of my life, be my Savior. I thought that the only avenue that I was going to sing was gospel. Right. But I had opportunity to sing R&B so many times, but I kept turning it down because I'm thinking, hey, I'm supposed to sing gospel. Yeah. And when I met Roger Troutman, he heard me singing on a tape. I had a cousin that worked for Troutman Enterprises in Dayton. And so he heard me singing a song because I traveled with a ministry. We traveled all over the world, all over the country, and did crusades a week at a time in the city. And one of our crusades that we did in my hometown, the theme was called Jesus is Love. So we adopted the Commodore song, Jesus is Love. Right. So he heard me singing on that tape and was like, who's this girl? Does she want to sing? Does she want to make records? And when I came home, my family was all deep, oh, Roger Troutman, and Zap. I'm like, okay, who's Roger and what's a Zap? Because I just really wasn't into, mainstream. I mean, I heard the radio. I didn't have my head in the sand, but I was really more into gospel music. Yeah. And so he offered me the opportunity, and I told him, like I told the other people, thank you, but no thank you, because I really want to sing gospel. Right. But because he didn't have any connections in the area, he said, well, if you ever want to give it a try, I want to help you. So I left there thinking, God, why is this the only door opening for me? And then I said, well, God, if this is the door you open for me, I'm not gonna leave you to walk through this door. I'm gonna take you with me, and I'm gonna treat it like any other job that I have. I'm gonna be my true, authentic self, and I'm going to take you with me. And so I'm so thankful for the doors that open, you know. And if that had not happened, I wouldn't be talking to you at 11:24 p.m. tonight.
Amen. And I'm so glad you're doing it. Let me go back and ask you this. As a young lady,
Sure.
Besides singing, what else did you like to do at that time, 15? Like, what else, if it wasn't for music?
I love to draw.
Okay, yeah, cool.
I love art.
Right.
I would go to the art museum. I was kind of geeky. I would go to the art museum and go through the galleries, and I love like the Egyptian and the Greek galleries. I love French Impressionism. And so even in school, I took art. And so I was interested in art, music, dancing, singing. So really just the arts. Just really, I'm just an art nut. I love art in every form.
Nice. Okay, I want to play a little game with you, right? So the rules to this game is you can only pick one name, right? That's the only rule, one name. I want you to tell us your favorite singer of all time.
Aretha Franklin.
Oh, nice. It was easy. I love it when it's easy. All right, cool. Aretha Franklin, that's cool. All right, so I definitely got some questions about, you doing secular music versus gospel music, but we'll get into all of that. You were discovered by the late, great Roger Troutman, and together you guys were a heavy influence on hip-hop. And I want to know how you feel about that.
First of all, it's amazing. I think about how I feel and felt about Aretha Franklin and Gladys Knight and Stevie Wonder and all those people who influenced me. And there's so much a part of who I am and what's inside of me. Sometimes when I'm singing, I go, when I listen to my own records, I say, ooh, there's my Gladys right there. Ooh, there's my Riri. There's my Stevie right there. So we are a product of our environment, of what we take in, what we hear, what we experience. And so, so to know that I've had people tell me, the influence that I've had on a lot of young singers. And I'm just really honored that somebody could feel about me the way I felt about the people that I admired. So to be able to be an influence, it's part of legacy. You want to leave something positive. To say that Shirley Murdock was here, or like to be able to say, well, Aretha Franklin, she influenced me, or to hear some of the young ladies that I meet. I studied you, I listened to you, I grew up listening to you. All those things like that. It's really an honor, because when you think out of all the choices that people can have, it don't have to be you. It just doesn't have to be you. But the fact that somebody would take their time to listen to you, to enjoy your music, it's an honor, and I'm humbled by it. And with that, I wanted to share something with you that Roger Troutman shared with me when my records were going up the charts. He said, you need to talk to me. He said, because that record can't stay up there. He said, right now you're the best thing since sliced bread, since ice cream. He said, the record companies that love you, the best thing, they love you, they'll name their kids after you. He said, but when that record comes off the chart, they're going to take your poster down, put somebody else's up, and you'll be lucky if they accept your phone call. He said, but this is what you do. He said, do a great record, do a great live performance, but this is the key. He said, stay touchable to the people, and they will support you for the rest of your life. And I saw that be for real and true in Roger's life, and I am still experiencing that in my own life, because I realized what side my bread is buttered on. First and foremost, the glory goes to God, because He's the giver of the gift. And the Bible says that your gift will make room for you and bring you before a great man. And it brought me before a great man by the name of Roger Troutman. And he's the one that helped me establish myself as an artist. But then having this yearning to want to sing gospel, because that's very much a part of who I am. And I never stopped singing gospel. All of my shows, I put gospel in. All of my records had a gospel or inspirational song, because I'm unashamed of my relationship with God. And so, but then that same gift brought me before Bishop T.D. Jakes, which he was the one that opened the door for me for my dream to come true, to sing gospel. I was signed to Warner Brothers, and he gave me that opportunity. He said, you never had an opportunity to sing gospel, but I'm going to give you this opportunity, but you can't do both. So I went to Roger and said, Roger, I got a chance to sing gospel finally. I want to be released from Warner Brothers. He said, baby, I'm not surprised. That's what you were doing when I met you. So I'm just thankful that God has blessed me so much that so many of my dreams have come true. You know, he's blessed me. I still do my music because that's who I am. You know, that's what I bring to the table. I sing. If somebody said, well, do you sing gospel? You sing R&B? What do you sing? I sing life songs. I have always sung songs about life, you know, and situations. But I don't want to just sing a song about a situation without bringing a moral to the situation, you know, about bringing some sense to the situation to help you to make choices in life. So it's just been an amazing journey. I'm thankful. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Hey, listen, I love whenever I talk to you celebrities, you industry artists, and, you know, you guys are stars, but it always is beautiful to hear you speak as a human, you know, and we can hear you. And I just love that answer right there that you just gave us. Let's talk about Roger Troutman for a minute. You mentioned him.
Okay, I'd love to.
Yeah, you guys were perfect for each other. I want to know, what do you miss the most about Roger now?
I miss his friendship. I miss his humor. He was funny, man, and he was just so giving. He was unselfish. He was unselfish as like I said, as a producer, as an artist, and he was unselfish when it came to the stage. He wouldn't mind other, you know, when I was in Zap, or, you know, if he would let members of Zap come out and be on out front. You know, he only had one requirement: do not bore my fans. That's the only requirement. Oh yeah, you can do it, but just don't bore my fans. His whole thing was he wanted to make people's life better. He wanted people for the hour, maybe hour and a half, or whatever time it was that he was on stage. He wanted people to forget about their troubles. He wanted to turn your frown into a smile. He wanted to uplift people. He was generous. Oh my gosh. And he was just a great person, but he was also a musical genius.
Yes, indeed.
I don't think there was an instrument that Roger could not play. I remember one time we were at BET with Donnie Simpson, right? And Roger whips out a banjo and starts playing the theme from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Wow.
I mean, there was nothing he couldn't do. And he loved kids. Oh, he was just silly. Yeah. He was silly. He would do his Donald Duck voice for kids. And he was just an amazing, loving, warm-hearted person. And he was my brother, and he was my friend. Yeah. And I miss him.
Man, definitely a big fan of Roger, man. He was, you almost kind of got me wanting to go off subject here, because my uncle Pete, he's the one that introduced me to Roger, man, and it was just something. This is a hard question for me to ask you, and I totally understand, you know, if you want to pass this, it's totally fine. But I want to ask, you know, do you think him releasing you from your deal was like the straw that broke the camel's back between him and his brother Larry?
I have no idea, and I don't think so, because Larry loved me as well, and Larry loved me and they both knew that all I ever wanted to do was to sing gospel. So that my release was facilitated by both Larry and Roger. So I would say absolutely had nothing to do with it.
Okay. So Larry had a part in helping you get off of it as well, because
Larry was my manager.
Right.
At the time, he was both mine and Roger's manager, and there was so much wisdom. You know, they both looked out for me as a young woman in the industry. They wouldn't let anybody misuse me or abuse me. Yeah. They never sent me out by myself as a woman. They would always. This is what Roger did. When my record started getting hot, I was in Zap. And my record started getting hot, and Larry said, "Okay, Shirley, it's time for you to leave Zap. It's time for you to go out on your own, for you know, because your record's getting hot. It's time." So what Roger did, Roger gave me his band. He sent me out with the Zap band as my band. Yeah, so that's love.
Yes,
that's love.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what he did, he put together another band. He took my fiance at that time, Dale. The only person he cut was Dale. Okay. And he started another band because he wanted me to be comfortable going out there on my own. Instead of just saying, go out there, he undergirded me with his family, with his brothers, with his band. I mean, as a young artist, you couldn't ask for more than that, right?
Right.
And so they took care of me. They made sure that I didn't get ganked for my writers, you know. So they always looked out for me. And I'm still, to this day, I'm still chewing on the wisdom that they imparted into my life. To this very day. So oftentimes we'll all be sitting around. Remember when Roger said blah, blah, blah. Remember what Larry said about blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like this. It was a tragic situation that I wish to God never happened.
Right.
But those two gentlemen, they made such an impact in my life that my life would not be the same had they not been a part of it. And I'm thankful to the time that I spent with them and what they poured into my life. And so me and the boys in Zapdo, they're still my brothers. You know, I was just in Hawaii with them. You know, when my schedule permits, I'll go out and I'll come out and I'll sing Computer Love. You surprise the audience, you know. And we just did a thing, a birthday party for Mike Epps in LA. And I went with them for that. And then I left them and went and did a play. So, I mean, I've been so blessed in my life, but a lot of this, I didn't get here by myself.
Right.
I'm standing on the shoulders of great people who poured into me. Yeah. But I'm also grateful for the gift that God has given me and the doors that he's opened and the opportunity to use the gift that he's given me.
Right. Yeah. I kind of just asked that question because, you know, I'm watching, you know, doing a lot of history on it. And, you know, the story is always kind of told that, you know, Roger released you from the deal and everything, and it, you know, I was kind of wondering Larry's, you know, his role in that, but I see what you're saying now with that. 1985, "Girl Cut It Out." Is that the first song you did with Roger?
Girl, cut it out.
Yeah.
That was I'm gonna let you ask the question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was wondering, is that the first song you guys did together?
Yes, it absolutely was.
Cool.
It was.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
And then after that, it was Computer Love.
Yeah, I want to talk about Computer Love for a minute. You know, this is such a huge song for me. Charlie Wilson was also a part of this song.
Yes, he was.
And you guys had such a great chemistry. You know, what was it like working with the both of them?
Well, I never worked with Charlie.
You didn't? You guys were in separate?
I never recorded with Charlie.
Wow.
No, I never recorded with Charlie. I was never in the studio. I would love to record with Charlie. I love Charlie Wilson. Okay, I'm a Gap Band fan too. Okay. Yeah. I never recorded with Charlie. We met each other. You know, there's been times I remember when I was still singing with Zach. And I think we're in LA, and they called Charlie up to do Computer Love with us, and it was amazing. Mm-hmm. And then I remember one time we were on the Tom Joyner cruise, and we went to go see Charlie perform a particular night. He called me up to do Computer Love. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's nothing but love there. But I never recorded with Charlie. Can I put that out there in the atmosphere? Charlie, I love to record with you.
Hey, listen.
But what happened was, like I said, Roger, Dale put down the track. Roger came behind him and added the talk box and other instruments and things like that. Mm. And so Charlie came in, and if you really listen to Computer Love, whatever Roger says, that's what Charlie says, like a call and response. Because like I said before, there were no verses. When Charlie was in the studio, I hadn't written the verses yet. Mm-hmm. So then I came back in and wrote the verses. But isn't that amazing how we were never in the studio together, but how much magic happened? Yeah, isn't that amazing?
It sounded so perfect on the record together too. Like y'all was all right there, you know. And since you putting it out in the atmosphere, I want to shoot my shot as well. Gap Band is my favorite funk band of all time. And if I could get you to help me get a conversation with Charlie Wilson, I gotta shoot my shot as well, you know. We talk about that off air. But all right, cool.
It don't hurt to try, right?
Right, exactly. As we lay, right, this song right here, written by Larry Troutman and Billy Beck of the Ohio Players.
Right.
I actually got to work with Billy also on a track myself, which was very...
He's a Youngstown guy, right?
Yeah, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? It was special to me, you know, to work with his brother. You actually added some lyrics as well. And I wanted to know on this As We Lay record, for you, your addition, your lyrical additions, was it kind of like to water down the song, or was it to kind of just give it a female feel? Like, what was it for you?
Okay, I have to tell you, because I didn't want to sing a celebratory song about infidelity. It just leave it like it was As We Lay.
Yeah.
But to me, there are consequences, baby, to every decision that you make in life. What you do just doesn't affect you; it affects everybody in your world. So I said, well, the only way, first of all, everybody in our camp, you know, Billy. Did you know that Billy already sang the song? That it was already out before?
That was the Human Body, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Baby, you doing your homework, huh? I see you over there. Yeah, but it was a Human Body. It was on Bearsville Records. Yeah. And it never hit. It never got into the ears of the people. There are a lot of great records that never get into the ears of the people. All of us thought, hey, this is like life and like a soap opera. Yeah. People can identify. It's a hit. But it never got into the ears of the people. So I remember when Larry and Roger approached me about doing it, I had a problem with the song because I didn't want to just sing about, it's morning as we lay.
Yeah.
But I said, well, I'll sing the song if you let me add these lyrics. And what I added was, we should have counted up the cost, but instead we got lost in the second, in the minute, in the hour. Because for me, it's like, dirt is done in the dark. Yeah. But what's done in the dark, will soon come to the light. So when the light of morning comes, it's morning, sunlight shines across your sleeping face. So now, the light has come in and everything that you've done has now been exposed.
Yeah.
And now you got to answer for it. You see? And so since I would never want to hurt her, she would never understand that you belong to me. But just one night as we slept the night away. So to me, there had to be an element of regret.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll just be a cheating song.
Yeah. So basically, you try to soften the blow a little bit there.
Well, you can call it that. Okay. I call it bringing in reality, because people need to deal with the reality of the fact that I brought in the truth.
Right.
That you need to count up the cost before you get lost, whether it's an As We Lay situation, just decisions that you make in life. Come on, back in the day, nobody writes checks these days, but if you write a check for more than what's in your account, check gonna bounce. And not only is it gonna bounce, you have to pay the check and the check fee. So there's way more attached. So that's why you need to think about it may feel good to you for right now, but what about the consequences? Right. What's the cost? So you need to count up the cost before you get lost. And that's what I was trying to drive home, the message of making good choices in your life, which for me, the song The Husband was a perfect follow-up, because it was not saying, I'm going to get this woman's husband. It says, I'm a lady with class. I know my desire will pass. This will not occur. You're that lady's husband, so I'm letting you go. So if you messed up with an As We Lay situation, now we're going to help you out. We're going to help you to make a better decision with husband.
Right. Okay. I get you. Let me ask you this real quick. Do you think infidelity is more accepted from men than women in terms of like on a song?
Well, first of all, you can't have infidelity without both parties. It takes two to infidel.
Right.
I just made up a word, infidel. Okay?
I got you.
You can't have one without the other. Let
me kind of rephrase it like this, because you mentioned the Human Body, putting a song out and it just didn't hit like yours did. Do you think maybe because it was a female presenting the song versus a male presenting the song, it gave it more power?
I do.
Yeah,
I do. And my husband says that all the time. He said, I think that because when because when a woman sings, it empowers her.
Yes,
she's more empowered. She's not a victim. She's empowered. She's made choices.
Yeah.
And so, I think so. It could be that. Yeah. And I think that I have a lot of women, come up to me and they can relate because they've been in that situation.
Yeah.
And then, I got in trouble on your song. I said, well, I ain't paying no child support and you didn't listen.
well,
I said, because I told you to count up the cost.
Yeah.
But, people can relate to things based upon what's going on in their lives at the time.
Yeah.
So I think when people heard that song for the first time, many people might have been in that situation. They could really relate or really understand. So it's like I said, it's really just about life.
Yeah. Yeah. I like both versions of it. I think, like how Dale is saying.
What about Kelly? Kelly redid it too.
Kelly Price. Yeah.
Yes.
It can't come after Shirley.
Kelly was wonderful. She was wonderful, and she said she didn't want to change it too much because she had such respect for it.
Right.
But I could tell by the way she sang it, she understood what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
And the beauty with Kelly is she was able to have a video.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, videos weren't as popular when my version came out.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you what she did. She called me up and said, I want you to be a part of this video. So when you look at Kelly's video, I play her mom right in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And we're having a telephone conversation. And I say, baby, I know you think you love this man, but God's not going to give you somebody else's husband. And then it goes into her version of As We Lay, which I think she did such a beautiful job on it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see, I want to cram in so much stuff here. Oh, you got a lot of judgment for that song when we first released it. And people act like infidelity ain't in the Bible, like when it comes to the religious people. The most notorious case that I could think of is the woman that was caught in adultery and was brought before the Messiah. But people judge you for this song, the church people do. How hard was it for you to deal with that, back then?
Well, it was heartbreaking in the beginning because growing up in church and people that knew you, I think that the reason why it hurt is because it's like, don't you know me? Look at my life. Do you see this as this song as an example of my life? Is it the life that I'm living? Mm-hmm. It is not, And so, but I understand, I was church hurt, but I'm telling you something, God has a way of healing you. Mm-hmm. And I ain't mad at nobody. And I understand that everybody may not have understood what I was trying to do.
Right. But
I think that as I have continued to live my life and as people begin to know me over the years and the consistency of how I live my life, there's nothing salacious out there, about my life because I live my life according to my relationship with God.
Right.
And so, like I said, when I was I would go into the club singing those songs, but I would still sing a gospel song because I saw it as an opportunity. As I look back over my life, it's like God made me famous to give me a bigger platform to minister from. Mm. So all those songs that you love, As We Lay, Husband Going Down to Computer Love, Stay With Me Night, all those songs, it's a wonderful way to entertain people, but I never want to leave them just entertained. I leave them inspired. To be able to have that platform to tell somebody, you know what, I know you're going through stuff, but I want you to know that God loves you. He's got you on his radar. He's never lost track of you. And there's nothing that you can do that he can't forgive. And there's no place that you can go and he's not there. and he can take your sins and throw them as far as the north is from the south, the east is from the west, and not even throw it up in your face like people will. Mm-hmm. And he can set you on a path that will lead you right to your destiny. So I find that I've been 007 for the kingdom all along.
Hey, I was just going to say, we
just being able to use this platform to just share love, to share inspiration, to inspire people, to spread hope and love and inspiration. And I think that that's really what the call on my life is. So the music opened the door for me to be able to do that. Now, the songs that I write, like As We Lay, Husband, those are not songs that I wrote. One of the songs that I wrote a song like In Your Eyes. And I wrote that about my husband. In your eyes, I see kindness. In your eyes, I see honesty. In your eyes, I see patience. Oh, baby, in your eyes, I see love. So those are types of songs I write. And one of the gospel songs one of the songs I wrote was called I Love Me Better Than That. Mm-hmm. Than to lay here and cry or to stay here and die. I'm going to get my life back. I know I've made my mistake, but it's never too late. I want my joy back. I want my peace back. So to just inspire people to take back everything that the devil ever stolen from you. Take back your hope. Take back your life. Take back your dreams. I wrote that song for women that are going through abusive situations, to be able to get out of those situations. Yeah. So I'm always singing about life.
We getting the edifying version of Shirley Murdock. Now I love it. Let me squeeze this in here. All right, so let's talk about gospel music for a little bit here. Want to know, how do you monetize the gospel? In other words, like, how do you commercialize God's word? Does that make sense?
Explain a little more.
Okay, so
because I don't want to misunderstand you.
Right. Basically, as I'm doing my research and stuff, I'm hearing, you saying you struggled to get a gospel record deal in the beginning, right? And like it's a lot of people, especially religious people, who feel that the gospel shouldn't be a business. Want to get your thoughts on that. I can't really think of no other way of saying it besides commercializing God's word.
I think I got you. Let me say this. First of all, the Bible says that the workman is worthy of his hire. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's don't get confused. Cats got to eat. James Brown said, Roger asked James Brown, "Hey man, how is it that you got the same band for all these many years?" He said, "Cats got to eat." Okay, people have to eat. So let's don't get it twisted. People have to make a living. Okay, right. But the thing is, you have to be mindful that you can't love money more than God. Mm-hmm. You have to decide: am I doing this for the money, or you can't serve both God and money. And so what I mean by that is, of course, you have to make a living, mm-hmm. but you can't be so into the business that you miss the ministry, because the gospel, even the word gospel means good news. Mm-hmm. And Jesus came, he said, "I came that you might have life and have it more abundantly." He came to set us free. He came to give us that life and have it more abundantly. So as gospel singers of good news, that's your job, to put that good news out there. Mm-hmm. And so I think that you have to be mindful of what you're running after. See, my favorite scripture in the Bible is, "Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness," his way of doing things, mm-hmm. and all these things be added unto you. So when you delight yourself in the Lord, he'll give you the desires of your heart. Mm-hmm. So I think that we have to not be going after the money. So if it's about the money, I think then you taint the gospel. It's all about the money. Yeah, it has to come from a place of sincerity. And I think that people know when it's sincere, because what comes from the heart reaches the heart. Mm-hmm. And I think that God will bless you and open doors for you that no man can shut. See, I give my gift back to God. I say, "Lord, I first of all, I thank you for the gift. And I say, "Lord, I want you to use this any way you want to." People say, "Well, what's next for you? Are you doing an R&B record? Are you doing a gospel record?" I'm at the point in my life, brother, where God has blessed me so much in my life. I've seen so many of my dreams come true, mm-hmm. that I say, "Well, God, I thank you for every open door. I thank you for all my success. But what do you want for me in my life at this particular time?" My husband and I, we pastor a church. He is the music director still for Zap. We're a little strange, okay? He still plays for Zap. He's the pastor of Second Baptist Church in Springfield, Ohio. I am the assistant pastor, the co-pastor of Second Baptist Church in Springfield, Ohio. I do gospel. I do R&B. I'm an actor. Every door and every gift that I have, my prayer is, God, show me how to use everything. Yeah. But I don't go out there to be one or the other. I go out to be Shirley. And who Shirley is a child of the Most High. Yeah. And so I don't change faces. What you see is what you get. Mm-hmm. So I bring God to everything that I do, because that's who's in me. What's in you comes out you. Yeah. Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense. I just, one of the things about this question is that I struggle with is, for like gospel record label owners, like how do they, decide who's going to get a deal, when the job is to deliver the gospel. I just, it's kind of weird to me, how they would say, "Oh, we don't want to give you a record deal, a gospel record deal I don't know, for whatever however they monetize it. That's the part for me.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I really, because that's not my area.
Right.
I wish I could give you a better answer, but I will say this.
Yeah.
At the time when I was coming up, you know, it's different now because you got the internet. Mm-hmm. You got streaming. See, artists don't need. I heard a wonderful interview that you did with Master P not too long ago, and it was wonderful. I really enjoyed it, and he was talking about streaming. How back in the day, how even as a mainstream artist, how people had to sell their CDs, out of the trunk of their car.
Yes.
Well, today, baby, if you can go, you can become famous on TikTok. You can streaming, sound, iTunes, all that. So if you have a good record, you can get your music out. You don't need a record company. So don't be held back thinking, oh, I can't make it because I need a record company. Right. Again, your gift will make room for you and bring you before a great man. God is the one who opens the door. God is the one who gives opportunity. You just have to, as Master P said, do the work.
Yeah.
So it's like they that wait on the Lord will renew their strength. So waiting on the Lord is not sitting here waiting on a record company or sitting there twiddling your thumbs. It's doing the work. Waiting on the Lord is like waiting tables. You're actively waiting. You keep studying. You keep growing. You do a master class. You do whatever it takes to grow and become and be better. So I don't think that it's all up to a record company, because if it's all up to a record company, many people wouldn't even get the opportunity. Now, if you do your work, you can get a record company interested. Here's my example. My song, I Love Me Better Than That. My husband and I wrote that song in our house, in our studio. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was out with the play, and as we were promoting the play, we went to the radio station. Mm. I took that little CD with me and gave it to a DJ, okay, in Dallas, Texas. He played it. And so after he played it, the phones start lighting up. Mm. Did you hear what I said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The phone started lighting up. And so every time a record exec would come, he said, watch what happens when I play this record. He'll play I Love Me Better Than It. And the phone started lighting up. Guess what? I started getting calls from presidents of record companies. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying it's great, but you don't have to depend on that. You and Jesus and the talent that he's given you, if you do the work and do your due diligence, you don't necessarily need the record company. If you do it right, a record company will come to you.
Right, exactly.
Does that make sense?
No, that makes total sense. Exactly. I feel you 100%. Oh, man, I got so much I want to ask you. I'm trying to squeeze it in. Let me see. Listen, we're
going to do part 2, aren't we?
Hey, we're going to have to do it. But you giving us a great body of work, 5 studio albums. One of those went gold, hit singles, videos. You work with a lot of great, collaborations. We talked about, you just touched on streaming and stuff like that. I want to ask you this, but I kind of... So you got into acting, you start doing the plays, on a big level, with Tyler Perry and such. Want to know what you like most about acting. I really want to know what you like most about acting, but I, for the sake of time here, yeah, man, we, like you said, we just gonna have to get into some part 2 and 3. All right, so, yeah, definitely want to give you time, let me ask you this before we get up out of here, because I got a little time for this, and I want to know, when it's all said and done, how would you like to be remembered, as a person, as an artist?
I want to be remembered as a person, someone who had a light, and always wanted to shine that light in dark places to lead people to the light. Mm-hmm. Someone that had a care for young people, who wanted to inspire and uplift people in their lives, to let people know that it can be better. It's going to be better. It's going to be all right. And it's always pointing the way to the Lord and pointing the way to freedom, because who the Lord sets free is free indeed. Mm. As an artist, someone who was unapologetic about her art, and wanting to sing songs that help people, sing life songs. So whether it was a gospel song or whether it was a beautiful love song, because I think we need those in our life. You know, we're body, soul, and spirit. You know, we have our relationship with God, but we have a relationship with each other. So we need songs that will enhance, you know, make the marriage better, make a relationship between brothers and sisters and you know, people, our neighbors better. So I just really want to, I guess I'll put it like this, to be salt and light. Salt saves and preserves whatever it touches. And light, and salt also makes you thirsty. Have you ever ate some potato chips or some cheese and didn't want some Kool-Aid or a Pepsi?
Oh my goodness!
One of my pastors said, I love. She said, we want to be salty enough to make people thirsty for what's inside of us. So I want to be salty enough to make people thirsty for what's inside of me, and I want to be light to light the way. So anybody that's groping in the darkness, anybody that feels like they've lost their way, I want to shine the light and show them the way to safety, show them the way to sanctuary. And sanctuary just simply means, you know, safe. So I think about the Hunchback of Notre Dame movie, you know, and he goes, sanctuary. So couldn't nobody touch him in the sanctuary city, you know, a safe place, you know, to lead them to the love of God, the peace of God, and the grace of God.
Listen, I'm looking at this clock, 60 minutes. I've enjoyed every last one of them. I want to give you time to give your shout-outs. Before you do that, I want to give a shout-out to Mr. Dale DeGroat. I want to say thank you so much, you know, for helping.
To my husband.
Amen. But I want to give you time to give your shout-outs as well and drop any social media, any upcoming shows, any events, and all of that, you know.
Well, I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show, to have an opportunity to speak to your audience. I thank you so much for that. And I'm actually going to be in a play called When a Woman Stand Up. And I'm going to be in Kansas City this Saturday. Going to be 2 shows there. You can check me out. I'm going to have it on. I'll be trying to put it on my social media. Okay. I have a Facebook fan page. I'm on Instagram, Shirley Murdock, the number 4 real, REAL. And I'm on Instagram as well. Instagram and X. That's at Shirley Murdock. And my husband and I, like I said before, we pastor Second Baptist Church in Springfield, Ohio. You can find us on our Facebook page there. And we also have an online ministry called prayingforyou.org. That's praying, PRAYING, the number 4, YOU. I do a Wednesday prayer wall every Wednesday from noon to 1 Eastern Standard. And I post that. So if anybody's in need of prayer, people call it from all over the country, and we just pray for you. You can call in that number or leave your prayer request right there on my Facebook page, and we will lift that prayer up to God and agree with you in prayer and trust God for the answer. So that's my Facebook, my Instagram, and our website and Facebook for both ministries.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all of that. I can't thank you enough. That was Shirley Murdock on Surreal Talk Radio. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Y'all follow us on social media. Check us out at on YouTube at Calico Surrealist. If you enjoyed the show and you want to support, contact WPRK at Rollins College. We thank you so much for rocking with us. Y'all stick around for music from around the way with DJ Willie C. I got DJ Willie C in the building, y'all. All right, we are out of here. Peace. Check it out, man. What's up?